Hello, Georgetown. I'm Beverly Enos, and you're watching Spotlight Georgetown. This is your own cable TV show, so if you want to become involved, if you would like to sit in the hot seat and be interviewed, if you know somebody else who you would like to put in the hot seat and be interviewed, let me know. But they also have the facilities and the equipment. So if you'd like to learn how to come down and run part of the equipment and use it, please feel free. You can find Spotlight Georgetown on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on your local station. And then after it's aired, you can always find us on YouTube. So, small town of Georgetown amazes me, just amazes me. Now today we're talking to Alexandra Zega, and you are a real estate agent.
Yes.
You live in Georgetown.
I live in Georgetown for almost 20 years now.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I know. Time flies.
I didn't realize you were here that long.
Yes.
Now, you have a family here?
Just a husband,
that's
dog, and a cat.
That's a family.
It's a family, yes. Yes. I enjoy it. I love Georgetown. I really do.
Now, where did you come from originally? You have an accent that is not Georgetown.
Yes, it's not Georgetown. I was born in Germany, and I've been in the United States for now, I think, 31 years. So, more than half my life. So I have a colorful background. I wasn't just doing real estate.
Do you want to share it, or is it something?
Well, it comes in handy actually when you do it now. When doing real estate, I used to work in the entertainment business in Los Angeles for 10 years. I did that successfully. So in real estate, it comes in handy when it comes to pictures and marketing and selling.
Okay.
So that background comes in handy. I also used to work for an attorney. So again, real estate,
the legal part,
it all comes together in one nice big picture. So it's helpful.
It's always interesting for me when I do interviews,
Yeah.
because I'm looking at information that's been given to me about one specific part of someone's life,
Yeah.
and then to realize that
There's so much many facets to it. Oh yeah, it's
I have a friend that says, she calls me an onion because there's always another layer to
There's
peel.
another layer.
There's always another layer.
And everybody has some story to tell that
Yes.
nobody expected to be there. Exactly.
Well,
Yes.
I've learned something today.
Yeah.
So, you are now doing real estate.
I've been doing real estate for a long time. Yes.
What areas do you cover as far as selling or buying or selling?
I cover. I'm licensed in Massachusetts, and I'm also licensed in New Hampshire. So I do both states, and I cover the North Shore, southern New Hampshire. You know, I go to Rockport, Gloucester, whatever areas. I usually refer to another realtor when I have to go over the Tobin Bridge.
Okay.
It's not that I couldn't do it, but
It's
you know,
a
you're
different
not
type of real
really
estate.
you got to do a service to your clients, and when you spread yourself too thin, the client will suffer, and the service you provide will suffer. So it's much better to just, you know.
Okay, I'm going to kind of take this in different order than I actually wrote the script. A buyer agent and a selling agent.
Yep.
What's the difference between the two?
Well, they're both agents. However, there are companies that will specialize in just representing one or the other. You know, that just represent sellers or just represent buyers. Majority of companies will do both. With that said, though, you really want to make sure as a realtor that you know who you're representing. When you represent a seller, you got to be aware that you're representing your client in front of other agents, in front of buyers. So that impression that you give is important because, you know, you're part of that package. You also have to protect the seller's interest and property and work with them and understand what they need and what they're concerned about and guide them through that. So it's involved.
I think most people, when they hear real estate agent, they think I'm going to sell my house and this person is going to help me buy a house.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But it's more than that.
Yeah, well, it happens. A lot of times somebody's selling the house and they're also looking to buy, and you can certainly use the same agent. You know, it makes sense a lot of times to have the same agent in that process. So when you then putting a different hat on and become a buyer agent, it's a different ballgame. You're just like, Are you pre-approved? Are you talking to the right lender? Do you understand the process of buying, which is different from selling?
And that's part of what you do.
That's part of what I do. I do all of that. I do buyer, sellers, and I love it.
Now, what kind of properties do you represent?
Well, usually it's residential, single-family homes, condos. I work with people who are looking for 55 and over. That's another specialty, but I do that a lot. Sometimes commercial, very few commercial properties because the residential keeps me busy. So.
And Georgetown does not have a lot of commercial or industrial.
No.
We're mostly
but,
residential.
but most areas, it's another completely different field, and I have never really felt the need to delve into that more deeply than I love the seller and buyer part of my business. So.
Now, how involved do you get with the family that, let's say, you're helping somebody buy a house?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's involved because it depends if they're first-time home buyers or if they've already had purchased before, if they're and
that makes a difference on the interest rates and what they can get?
It makes a difference of if they're familiar with the process.
Okay.
Because, first-time home buyer might not understand what it means to, closing costs and financial obligations and how a contract might work, what to look out for when you make an offer.
How often do the first-time buyers come in and go, why do I even need a realtor? Why can't I just do this myself?
Well, okay, let's think about this for a second, because what does buying or selling mean to most people? It's a huge financial undertaking, the biggest financial undertaking they probably will do. So question comes in, do you want to do this on your own?
Plus all the legalities.
The legality, the pitfalls that can happen, things you don't think about. So it's really advantageous for both, whether you're a buyer or a seller, to have a good realtor on your side. It's especially for buyers. You don't want to go into a transaction without having somebody guide you and show you what you need to look out for.
And what paperwork you need and
paperwork,
how to pass
home
papers.
inspection. How do I deal with issues that come up? Do I run away, or do I have a realtor? It's okay. We can fix that. So those are the important parts of it. So you really need somebody to guide you and navigate through those different
issues. So it becomes a partnership.
It's almost like dating. It is, because it depends on how long you're looking with buyer. It could be a couple months, it could be 6 months. It depends on what they're looking for. It can be involved, and it becomes like this little osmosis relationship when you're together. And I have a lot of buyers when they say, like when they're done, it's like they text me, I haven't talked to you.
I miss you.
I haven't talked to you. I'm like, it's okay, you can talk to me anytime. And a lot of my clients, they say, you're like a friend now, you're like family. Because I get very involved with my clients. For me, it's really important that they feel comfortable, that they have fun, that they understand everything that's going on.
I don't know anybody that's bought or sold a house that has not run into some sort of crisis.
There's always a crisis.
There's always a crisis.
Well, in their mind, it's a crisis.
Right.
In my mind, it's like, it's okay.
It's okay.
But that's why the realtor, you have a realtor who can act as a buffer between the parties too, because it gets emotional. Buying and selling is an emotional process for everybody. And so having somebody who is like in the buffer in between and keeps it a little bit calm and relaxed is a great thing. So a crisis, it's like, when you've been in the business long enough, like I have seen it. It's okay. We can handle it. This is what we're going to do. And, you put everybody, take a deep breath. It's all right.
Now, how would someone choose a realtor for themselves? Let's say if I want to buy a house. How would I choose a realtor other than let my fingers do the walking?
As a buyer, you can either ask somebody to recommend somebody.
Okay.
Or you can, but when you ask, and that goes for the selling side as well, when you ask somebody, it's like, oh, do you know somebody? Don't just ask, who did you use? Ask the question of saying, why are you referring this person to me? What did you like about them? Okay. What did they do for you? And listen carefully to the answer as well. Don't just like, oh yeah, I use that person and go with that, because it's got to be the right fit.
Yeah.
Even the recommendation, you might not fit together, you might not like each other. So ask the question, it's like, why is this person good? What did they do? And what experience did you have? Which I think is important.
Now, let's say I'm going to sell my home. How do I know how to price a home?
Well,
Especially in Georgetown, the times they are changing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you turn around and all of a sudden the market is up, the market is down.
the market is stale, nothing's happening. So how do you pick a realtor? I said, so three different...
How do you price your home?
Well, I'm sorry. How do you price your home? So you want to be careful about going with somebody who is telling you that your house is worth like gazillion. Tempting, very, very tempting, okay, that we want to go for that. Oh, that sounds good, There's a pitfall to that, though, when you price too high, okay? The pitfall is that if you price yourself out of the fair market value, you're going to sit there. And then you sit there, nothing happens. So now people start thinking, why isn't anybody buying this house? Okay, it must be something wrong, aside from it being overpriced, which is pretty noticeable to everybody. So then the price reduction starts, okay, and it comes down and down and down. So by the time you finally reach that market value where you should have been in the first place, the buyers who may have bought your house have moved on, and the people who are still here interested are not going to pay now even that market value, because now I can get even a better deal.
Right.
So in the end, you're actually going to lose money,
Okay.
potentially. So you want to guard about those realtors, and there's a lot of them who do that, which is sad.
So how would somebody do the homework? Maybe checking with the town hall, the value of the homes that are selling?
Well, usually it goes beyond. So you have, so go back to the pricing. So overpricing is obviously not advantageous. Underpricing would be another way that some people go, we're going to go lower. And then we got multiple offers. Sounds very appealing, doesn't it? And we get a bidding war and we get multiple offers. Well, again, there's a little pitfall in there too, because if you price it too low, you may get multiple offers, but you don't get what you want. For example, if you price your house at $300,000, just to name a number, but your actual market value would be like $325,000.
Yeah.
Well, do you think those multiple offers go up to $325,000 or above? Probably not.
Probably not.
So again, careful. So in order to figure this out, you want to be with a trustworthy and honest realtor and look at the comparables that are presented to you at the time when you meet with somebody.
Okay.
So question, comparable, is it a comparable to your house? Is it a comparable that's from this town? Or did they pick a different town?
Right.
Ask the question, why did you pick a different town? Why did you do that? Why did you pick this house and not that one? Because people know their neighborhood. They know what has sold. They know what's out there.
And they've probably been online looking at everything else that's selling.
Exactly. So it's really important to have a realtor who not only is knowledgeable and has experience, but who's really honest and trustworthy, because, as a realtor, I can manipulate the data any way I want.
Oops.
Yeah. And most people won't tell you that. They won't tell you that. I'm very upfront and straightforward to all my clients, and they say, you know what? I can make your house look on paper like it's worth $1 million. I can do it. I can manipulate that data.
But it may not sell for that.
But it won't sell for that.
Right.
So that's really important, what relationship you're going to have with that person. How honest are they?
How close, when you're looking to either buy or sell, when you look at the assessment value that the town has put on a house. Now, they hire professional assessors.
Yep.
They have the assessor's office, but they hire an outside company to come in and take the square footage and the measurements, and they assess your house for what they think it's worth. That's what you pay taxes on.
Yep.
How close is that to what a buying or selling price should be?
That depends on the market trend and conditions of the given years. You got to remember that the town assessment is always like a year and a half behind what's actually really happening currently in the market.
That much?
Yes. So, because your assessment doesn't come out here in Georgia until July, but that's July, there's a whole year that passed until they reassess. So that's important to know. There are times, we had it a few, 2005, 2006, when assessment and market value was very close together, and then they go apart. So assessment at the moment, right now, I wouldn't gauge that as a true value.
Okay.
But yes, the assessor, they will do the same, or we do the same as the assessors. We look at what has sold, what's out there. That's what we
Something
go
of
by.
equal value,
but they are
same
going,
location.
But they're going a year back, whereas as a realtor, you should never go longer than 3 or 6 months of what has sold.
Okay, how important is the marketing and the pictures? I mean, you can go online and find pictures of houses that look absolutely gorgeous. And then you drive up and you go, ugh.
Yep. Seen it all. So let me address pictures first. So pictures, it's really important. That's your business card, basically. That's your first impression that you give to people who are looking. Unfortunately, a lot of realtors do not hire professional photographers. They just do their own thing, go in there, and the pictures look accordingly. I've seen the seller sitting on the couch, the TV being on, the dog and cat being in the picture, the agent taking the pictures reflected in the mirror, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Plus, you have to pretty much clean the house out.
Yeah, but a lot of people, well, again, it's advice who you're working with. Some realtors just say, oh yeah, just sign here, I take pictures right now with my iPad, and it's, okay. Then there are the realtors who overexpose the pictures. They'll make them fabulous, just great and wonderful. And you go there and you're like, oh, this doesn't look like the same house. So what you really want to do is, what I do is, I'm a full-time realtor, I don't do anything else. I hire a professional photographer. I want to show the house exactly as it is. At the same time, I want to play up the good parts of the house.
Okay.
Without making it, staged or weird.
So you don't photograph the water level in the backyard.
Well, you don't have to photograph it, but you might want to mention it.
Yeah, you might want to mention it.
But no, you want to be sensitive and just make the house look. So marketing, then it goes to marketing. So again, a lot of, it's sadly, they put it on the MLS, the multiple listing service, and it goes on the company website, and they stick a sign in the yard, and That's it. Not for me. That's not it for me, because again, marketing is, you got to know in today's world how to manipulate online exposure.
Right.
And
online is huge
yes,
now.
it's huge. It's big. So if you have to ask, again, ask the questions. What do you do on online exposure and internet exposure? And if they tell you, oh, the company takes care of it, red flag for me. No, the company doesn't do it. They have hundreds and thousands of listings from all, their offices on there. They're not going to cater to each individual listing. It's unrealistic. Right. The agent needs to do that. You need to know how to do search engine optimization, how to bring a property, refresh it, how to keep it fresh, alive, what to do and how to do it. That's what you need to do. And at the same time, you can't rest there, because guess what? People still look at the paper.
Yeah.
Paper advertising is still an important part of your marketing. Direct email campaigns, flyers, phone calls. There's a few other things I don't want to give away to everything. It's my own little secrets of success. But it is important to know what to do, because selling a house is like selling any other commodity. You're going to have to spend some money to make money, and you got to know how to attract the buyers to the house.
And it's got to look its best.
It's got to look its best.
Even Georgetown, our local paper, has a section of real estate.
Yes. And people still look at it, and people
still
call, and people still like it, and they like to see that exposure. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
A lot of people are not into doing everything on the internet or the iPad.
No, but a lot of times when times are tough and economic times are tough, everybody gets lazy and just doesn't want to do anything. I think that's wrong. I'm working for the seller. I'm hired. They hired me to do a job, and I better do it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, on that note, anything else that you want to share?
No, any real estate questions, do give me a call.
Okay. All right. Thank
Thank
you very
you so much.
I'm so glad that you came to us.
Yep.
There's
Anytime.
a lot more to it than most people think.
Absolutely.
I'm Beverly Enos. You've been watching Spotlight Georgetown. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Thank you for joining us. Bye for now.